Imagine opening your fridge, and instead of processed meals, you find bowls of steaming miso soup, crisp seaweed, vibrant vegetables, and a small portion of grilled fish. Think of reaching for breakfast that fuels your day, not with heavy carbs or sugary cereals, but with wholesome, time-honored foods that support energy, balance, and, yes, maintain a slim silhouette. In Japan, many people live this everyday food philosophy. They don't count calories obsessively. They don't skip meals or suffer through fad diets. Yet, across the islands, people manage to stay lean, energetic, and deeply connected to their food. Today, we'll explore what Japanese people eat daily that helps them stay slim and energized. By the end, you'll not only understand the how, but might be tempted to try a few dishes for yourself. Let's dive in. When we think of diets that work, we often imagine extremes: keto, paleo, intermittent fasts, and the like. But for many Japanese, it's not about extremes. It's about harmony. It's about moderation, tradition, seasonality, and community. Japan has one of the highest life expectancies in the world. It also has historically low rates of obesity compared to Western nations. People often point to cultural factors: healthcare, lifestyle, social cohesion. But diet plays a major role too. So what are the core principles behind Japanese living foods? Before going into what they eat, let's look at why their dietary habits tend to support wellness and vitality. Portion control and moderation, Hanshoku, half-full approach. Many Japanese traditionally stop eating when they're about 80% full, the concept of Hara Hachi Bu. Variety and small servings. A typical meal includes multiple small dishes, each with different colors, textures, and flavors, encouraging slower eating and preventing overindulgence. Seasonality and local sourcing. What's eaten in spring, summer, autumn, and winter changes with the seasons, promoting freshness and nutrient density. Low in ultra-processed foods. Though modern Japan does import Western fast food, many traditional meals remain whole food-based. Balance of macronutrients. Japanese meals tend to include complex carbohydrates, rice, vegetables, lean protein, fish, tofu, beans, and healthy fats, seaweed, fish oil, rarely extreme in one direction. Mindful eating and social culture. Meals are often social, slow, and involve savoring each bite. Less multitasking, more awareness. With that foundation laid, let's walk through a typical day in the diet of many Japanese people, from breakfast to dinner, with snacks and beverages in between, and see how these eating habits may help with both daily energy and long-term slimness. In Japan, breakfast is rarely a repeat of heavy Western fare like bacon and eggs, pancakes, or sugary cereals. Instead, it leans toward lightness, savor, and balance. While routines vary by region, household, and age, here are some common breakfast elements found across Japan. Rice, gohan/white or brown rice. A small bowl of steamed rice is still a staple in many homes. It's compact and satisfying in small portions. Some households substitute with mixed grains or brown rice for better fiber. A small serving, e.g. half a cup cooked, ensures energy without heaviness. Miso soup, miso shiru. Made from fermented soybean paste, miso, dashi, broth, seaweed, and sometimes tofu or vegetables. This soup is warm, salty, savory. It helps hydrate after sleep and primes the digestive system. Fermented miso provides probiotics, which support gut health, key for metabolism and immunity. Grilled fish or small protein item. Common options: salted salmon, saba, mackerel, or other fish fillets. Sometimes egg, e.g. tamagoyaki, a Japanese rolled omelet. These are typically light, lean sources of protein. The serving is modest, just enough to help you feel satiated without overdoing it. Pickles, sukmono. Small side dishes of pickled vegetables, cucumber, daikon radish, umebashi, pickled plum. Provide color, acidity, digestive stimulation, and a burst of flavor in small measure. Seaweed, nori wakame. Slices of nori for wrapping rice, or wakame seaweed in the soup or as a side. Rich in iodine, minerals, and fiber, takes up almost no stomach volume but adds nutritional punch. Optional extras. Natto, fermented soybeans, for those who enjoy its strong flavor. Green tea, hot, or sometimes weak barley tea or mujika. Sometimes a small fruit piece, seasonal, but not always. Gentle and easy on digestion. Instead of starting with heavy fats or sugars, this combination allows the body to wake up gradually. Fermented foods boost gut health. Miso and sometimes natto bring probiotics, which may influence weight regulation via gut flora. Micronutrient diversity. Pickles, seaweed, and vegetables bring trace minerals, antioxidants, and fiber. Protein and moderate carbs. Protein helps maintain muscle mass and supports satiety. Moderate carbs ensure sustained energy. Slow pace and minimal waste. Eating several small dishes encourages mindful eating, savoring each spoonful and stopping when satisfied. Let's imagine you're sitting at the breakfast table in Tokyo. You take a spoonful of miso soup, warm, savory, soothing. You mix firm rice with a flake or two of grilled salmon. You nibble a bright, sour pickle. A wrinkle of nori adds texture. Each bite is small, but full of intention. It's not about filling to the brim. It's about starting well. It's a far cry from a sugar-laden breakfast sandwich or huge platter of pancakes. And yet, it works. In a discipline-conscious diet like many Japanese maintain, the period between breakfast and lunch is rarely filled with emotional snacking. Instead, hydration and sometimes light, healthy snacks intervene. Green tea, sencha, hojicha, jinmeika, rich in catechins and antioxidants, offering mild caffeine, a lift without crash. Often served without sugar, so no extra calories. Water or barley tea, mujica, popular in summer, cool and soothing. Occasional weak coffee, without sugar or heavy cream. More common now in urban areas, but kept minimal. If hunger emerges, the snack is modest and nutrient-dense. A few rice crackers, sunbae, particularly brown rice or somewhat whole grain. A small onigiri, rice ball, often filled with salmon or pickled plum. A piece of fruit, e.g. a slice of persimmon, apple, or seasonal treat. Roasted soybeans, edamame, or dried soy snacks. Sometimes small nuts or seeds, though less common than in Western snacking culture. These snacks, when taken, tend to be more functional than indulgent, small, simple, and meant to tide one over until lunch. The guiding principle: avoid binging. Avoid large sugary pastries. Stick with something modest if needed. The body and appetite are treated with respect. For many Japanese, lunch is the heart of nourishment, often an elegant, balanced bento box or a light restaurant meal. It's rarely overindulgent. Portion sizes are moderate, but the meal is rarely minimal either. Rice, or sometimes soba/udon/noodles, though less often for those seeking slimness. A small to moderate serving of rice, white, mixed, or multigrain, occasionally substituted or partially replaced with barley or brown rice. Protein side dishes: grilled or simmered fish, chicken, tofu, or occasionally beef/pork in small amounts. Steamed, simmered, namono, or grilled rather than fried when wellness is a priority. Vegetable sides: ohitashi, gomaii, pickled veggies, seaweed salad. Boiled spinach with sesame, steamed greens, hijiki seaweed, or carrot/daikon pickles. These add fiber, vitamins, color, and volume without high calories. Soup, often miso or a clear broth, often served alongside the main. Helps fullness, hydration, and digestion. Pickles, sukmono, a small side of pickled radish, cucumber, or other seasonal vegetables. Fruit, sometimes. A few slices of seasonal fruit may follow the meal. The beauty of the Japanese bento is that it's compartmentalized. Each compartment holds a modest portion. You'll rarely find a bento where one compartment is stuffed to overflow. This naturally limits overconsumption. In urban areas, many workers bring a homemade bento, carefully designed to balance taste, texture, and nutrition. Restaurant bentos follow similar balance. In addition, mindful eating remains central. People often eat slowly, sometimes in quiet lunchrooms rather than while scrolling on the phone. Seasonal variation ensures boredom doesn't set in. Summer lunch bento might include cold soba or chilled vegetables. Winter lunch might include hearty root vegetables or pumpkin. Scenario A: office worker bento. Rice, grilled mackerel, spinach gomaei, simmered daikon and carrot. Miso soup, pickled plum, a few slices of apple. Scenario B: sobaya, soba restaurant. Zurasoba, cold buckwheat noodles. Dipping sauce with scallions and wasabi. Side, spinach gomaei. Side, small bowl of natto or tofu. Green tea. Even though soba is a refined carbohydrate, buckwheat offers more fiber and micronutrients than white noodle flours. And portion control still matters. Servings are typically moderate. Balanced macronutrients. Protein plus carb plus fiber, vegetables. Volume from vegetables and soup. Helps satiety without high caloric load. Frequent variation prevents cravings. No reliance on heavy sauces or fried sides. Encourages digestion. Soup and vegetables help keep things moving. Lunch in the Japanese style is never maximalist. It's intentionally modest, colorful, and nutritionally rich. In the afternoon, many Japanese follow a gentler rhythm. There might be another tea break, a light snack, or simply a moment of rest. The idea is to sustain, not to overload. Green tea/matcha, popular and mild, with antioxidant benefits. Hojicha or genmaicha, roasted teas with lower caffeine. Barley tea, mujica, especially in warmer months. Water, sometimes with citrus or mild flavoring. If hunger arises. Rice crackers, senbei, modest portion. Roasted soybeans, or lightly salted nuts/seeds. Piece of fruit or dried fruit, e.g., persimmon, apple slices. Onigiri or half onigiri. Chawanmushi, savory egg custard, small cup. Again, this is not a binge time. It's a moment for recharging lightly, so that by dinner the appetite is tempered but ready. Culturally, some workplaces also encourage brief breaks or tea rituals. It's less about stimulating you with sugar, more about slowing down, hydrating, and preparing for the evening. This mindful pacing helps avoid the typical 3 p.m. slump cookies binge loop many experience elsewhere. Dinner in Japan is often the most communal meal, perhaps eaten with family, shared, savored. It's also where Japanese ingenuity and flavor really shows. Many small dishes arranged beautifully, with deep respect for seasonality, texture, and harmony. Rice, almost always, though sometimes reduced for lighter eaters. Main protein dish. Grilled fish or a small portion of poultry/lean meat. Alternatively, simmered dishes, nabe, hot pot, or steamed fish. Vegetable dishes, multiple small plates. Nemono, simmered vegetables. Ohitashi, blanched greens. Gomai, sesame-dressed greens, grilled vegetables. Seaweed salads, wakame hijiki. Soup, miso soup or a light clear broth. Pickles, sukmono. Occasional side of fermented food. Natto, omebashi. Fruit or a small sweet, very modest. Green tea after or during the meal. Steamed white rice or mixed grains. Grilled sanma, Pacific sori. Simmered kabocha, Japanese pumpkin. Spinach ohitashi with sesame. Hijiki seaweed salad. Miso soup with tofu and wakame. Pickled daikon. A few slices of persimmon. Each dish comes in small amounts. The entire meal is colorful, textured, aromatic, and balanced. Winter, hot pots, nabe, root vegetables, sweet potatoes, fish stews. Summer, chilled tofu, hayako, cold soba or somen, light vegetable dishes, more pickles. Autumn, mushrooms, chestnuts, root vegetables. Spring, bamboo shoots, young greens, seasonal herbs. The creativity lies in changing flavors, dressings like ponzu, citrus, sesame, yuzu, and preparation styles, grilled, steamed, boiled, simmered, rather than resorting to heavy creams or deep fryers. Multiple light dishes prevent over-reliance on one heavy entree. Fiber and water content help fullness. Lean proteins and vegetables dominate. Finally, many Japanese eat dinner earlier than in Western culture. In many households, dinner ends by 8 to 9 p.m., allowing digestion before sleep. By the time night rolls in, the body has been gently nourished all day. No extremes, no slumps. That's part of the secret. After dinner, Japanese routines often include light rituals that support digestion, calm, and rest, all important for energy and weight maintenance. Warm tea, decaffeinated or mild, such as hojicha. Light walks. Some neighborhoods foster walking. Strolling after dinner helps gently stimulate digestion. Minimal snacking. Many Japanese aim to avoid heavy snacking after dinner. If a snack occurs, it's small and mindful, e.g. a few nuts or a small fruit slice. In many Japanese homes, late-night eating is discouraged. The idea is to allow a window between dinner and bedtime to let digestion occur. Over time, this supports metabolic health and better sleep quality. Dessert is not eliminated, but it's often modest. A small mochi, seasonal fruit, or a wagashi, traditional Japanese sweet. It's rarely a giant slice of cake or heavy ice cream. These late evening habits help close the food day with intention rather than impulse. Now that we've walked through a typical day, let's summarize the nutritional and behavioral principles woven through Japanese daily eating and why they help support slimness and sustained energy. Moderate carbohydrates, often from rice or noodles, but balanced with fiber and slower digesting grains. Lean proteins, fish, tofu, soy, modest amounts of meat. Good fats, from fish oils, sesame, minimal refined oils. Lots of fiber-rich vegetables, seaweeds, legumes, pickles. Fermented foods, miso, natto, for gut health. Trace minerals and micronutrients from seaweed, pickles, vegetables. Many Japanese dishes involve high water and fiber content, soups, vegetables, tofu, which means you feel full without consuming excessive calories. Because meals are split into multiple small dishes, the brain and body feels rewarded by variety, which reduces cravings and monotony. Also, this helps slow eating and gives time for satiation signals to arrive. Eating isn't rushed. The act of putting chopsticks down, sipping tea, returning to food. These pacing habits allow fullness feedback to register before overeating. Changing menus each season prevents food fatigue and encourages nutrient diversity. Cultural respect for food, visually pleasing arrangement, appreciation, gratitude, encourages eating with attention. While modern Japan does include Western snacks and convenience foods, many traditional meal patterns remain intact. Excess sugar, soda, deep-fried fast food are less central, though present. As a result, people with more traditional diets tend to avoid many pitfalls of ultra-processed food overload. We can't ignore that many Japanese walk more, public transport, modest walking habits, and may have smaller living spaces that favor movement. But focusing purely on food, these patterns form a strong nutritional backbone. Thus, food becomes a partner in health, not a battleground. Let's translate this inspiration into real-world action. Here are tips and sample menu ideas you can try if you want to adapt Japanese-style eating to your life, whether in Tokyo, Lagos, or your hometown. Start small. You don't need to immediately overhaul your diet. Try one Japanese-style meal per day or one dish. Use bowls and small plates. Reduce plate size. Divide your plate. Half vegetables/greens, 1/4 protein, 1/4 carb. Add a soup. Miso or clear broth helps fullness and slows eating. Include fermented foods, kimchi, sauerkraut, yogurt, or miso. Incorporate seaweed or mineral-rich greens, nori, wakame, dulse, kale, spinach. Slow down and chew. Put utensils down between bites. Limit sugary drinks and processed snacks. Choose tea, water, or simple snacks. Honor seasonal produce. Shop local. Rotate vegetables. Avoid eating late at night. Finish your last snack or meal at least 2 to 3 hours before bed. Breakfast. 1/3 cup mixed grain rice. Miso soup with tofu and wakame. Grilled salmon fillet small. Small spinach ohitashi. A few slices of cucumber pickle. Hot green tea. Mid-morning, if needed. 2 to 3 brown rice crackers. Water or mujika. Lunch, bento style or homemade. Mixed grain rice. Teriyaki grilled chicken, modest amount. Steamed broccoli and carrots. Hijiki seaweed salad. Miso soup. Seasonal fruit slice. Afternoon tea/snack. Roasted soybeans or handful of unsalted nuts. Green tea. Dinner. Steamed or lightly sautéed vegetables, zucchini, mushrooms, bok choy. Grilled fish, e.g., tilapia, mackerel. Small serving of rice or optional mix/no rice for lighter eater. Clear broth soup, e.g. dashi and greens. Pickled vegetables. Sliced fruit or small wagashi. Evening. Warm hojicha tea. Gentle walk or stretching. No snacking or only herbal tea. Feel free to swap fish for tofu, chicken, or beans. Swap vegetables seasonally. The idea is not rigidity, it's harmony. Don't fear carbs. Just moderate and pair them with fiber and protein. Embrace umami, mushrooms, seaweed, dashi bring depth so you don't miss heavy sauces. Use citrus, yuzu, vinegar, sesame. They amplify flavor without calories. Plan ahead. Preparing steamed vegetables, pickles, and protein in batches can make these meals easier on busy days. Experiment with Japanese ingredients locally. Seaweed snacks, miso paste, tofu. Many are available internationally or via online shops. Of course, no diet is universally perfect. Incorporating Japanese dietary ideas may involve challenges, especially outside Japan. Let's address a few and how to adapt. Some regions may lack fresh seaweed, seasonal vegetables, or high-quality fermented foods. Adapt by using local greens, local sea vegetables, if available, or substituting fermented foods from other cultures, e.g. kimchi, sauerkraut. Buying in bulk or frozen can reduce cost. Some may find natto's flavor, fermented soybeans, too strong. That's okay. Skip or replace with milder fermented items. Use local spices or sauces, within reason, to match your palate, as long as they don't bring in excessive sugar or unhealthy oils. Preparing many small dishes daily can feel time-consuming. Solve this by meal prep. Prep a batch of pickled vegetables, simmered greens, steamed vegetables, and store them to reheat easily. Keep miso soup simple. Mix miso paste with dashi and toss in greens or tofu. Some people may have higher or lower calorie requirements. Always ensure you're eating adequate energy for your body. These Japanese patterns are templates, not dogma. Adjust portions, protein amounts, and snack frequency based on your activity, metabolism, and goals. Japanese diets, especially in cities, are not immune to Western fast food, sugary drinks, processed snacks. The trick is to let traditional patterns form your base and reserve Western indulgences for occasional treats rather than daily staples. With thoughtful adaptation, much of the Japanese approach can be integrated into diets almost anywhere, from Lagos to New York. To wrap up, let's look at why these Japanese dietary patterns tend to support long-term health, weight management, and vitality, touching on evidence, mechanisms, and real-world impact. Japan historically has had lower obesity rates than many Western countries. Traditional Japanese diets, high in fish, vegetables, soybean products, seaweed, correspond with lower cardiovascular disease, certain cancers, and metabolic disorders. Regions in Japan with high longevity, Okinawa, for example, emphasize many of these same food patterns: sweet potatoes, vegetables, legumes, and modest meat. Gut microbiome health, fermented foods, miso, natto, fiber-rich plants, seaweed support microbial diversity, which influences metabolism and inflammation. Satiety signaling, fiber, protein, and volume from vegetables, soups, help trigger fullness hormones. Lower glycemic load, moderate carbohydrates, often with fiber, reduce blood sugar spikes. Lean protein and maintenance of muscle, fish, soy, tofu protect muscle mass, which helps maintain metabolic rate. Anti-inflammatory and antioxidant load, seaweeds, green tea, vegetables bring compounds that reduce oxidative stress. Energy partitioning and metabolic flexibility. The body better switches between feeding and fasting when diet isn't overburdened by high sugars, ultra-processed foods, and large energy excesses. Many Japanese elders live active lives well into old age, with moderate appetites and balanced diets. Cooking, presentation, community, gratitude. Food is part of a life rhythm, not just sustenance. In sum, this isn't a fad diet. It's an ethos of harmony, respect, balance, and variety. As we've journeyed through the typical Japanese day, from breakfast to evening, we've seen something beautiful, that staying slim and energized doesn't require austerity or punishment. It's about harmony, variety, intention, and respect for one's body. If you choose to borrow from this tradition, perhaps one meal at a time, you might find your energy steadier, your cravings calmer, your relationship with food more peaceful. Thank you for joining me on this exploration. What Japanese people eat daily to stay slim and energized? If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you won't miss our future deep dives on food, culture, and wellness. Leave a comment below. Which Japanese dish surprised you most? Would you try a full Japanese-style day of eating? What challenges do you foresee in adapting these ideas to your life? I'd love to hear your thoughts and maybe even help you personalize a Japanese-inspired meal plan. Until next time, eat well, live kindly, and savor each bite. Sayonara, and may your plate bring you health and joy.